I'm really kind of tired of this scruffy old redneck look. So I've decided to do a makeover right here in 3 seconds in a complete time-lapse edited clip. So I'm going from this, to watch this, to 3, 2, 1. Now, I'm ready. Let's go poke Whitey. We're taking the solids because solids are cool. Now, there's more problems with the run out on the strike balls than there is on the solids, so we're going to do it the easiest way possible and take the solids. And that's pretty basic. Most of you guys, I know you know that. But, I mean, to determine all that, you have to go through a lot of things. Are any balls tied up? What balls are on the rails? And this and that. And can I easily get to the 8 ball? And it goes on and on and on. But it happens in your brain in a split second. Don't ever just look at the balls and say, well, I got a shot on this ball, so I'm going to take this kind of ball, the stripes or the solids. You have to look at the whole picture. But, and I know in the top left hand or top right hand corner, I'm blocking a couple balls at the top of the table. I think it's just one, actually. I think it's a 10 ball. But that's because I took this video before I knew what the hell I was doing when I was taking videos. And I didn't know that I need to get out of the way of the cameras so, the people can see the whole table. I was an idiot, yeah, I confess. But regardless, you'll see the whole picture as soon as we switch to the graph, and you'll see the actual live table as soon as I get done shooting this first ball, and it's really no big deal. So let's go ahead and cut away to the graphic now, and we can plan this table. Alright, here's the cue ball, and where's the 8 ball? And here we see it up here, up table, right at about the break line. Now, what pockets do we have available to shoot that 8 ball in, or what pockets aren't being blocked by the striped balls? What gives a clear shot on that 8 ball? So let's go through the pockets starting at down table, and we can't shoot the 8 ball in this pocket because this gray ball is a striped ball. We can't shoot it in the side pocket for the same reason. We have a striped ball right in front of the side pocket. We can shoot it in this corner pocket, the top left hand corner pocket. So we have that available. We cannot shoot it in the top right hand corner pocket because of that ball in back of it. Technically we could, but we don't want to be cutting the 8 ball in extreme angles. And we just don't want to be nuts about anything. We can't shoot it in the right hand corner pocket because of this ball and probably this striped ball too. We can shoot it in the bottom right hand corner, so we have 2 pockets available, the top left and the bottom right. Now most often you want to shoot the 8 ball, and it's safe to say every object ball in the closest pocket. This is not always the case. A lot of times you can't help but shoot in a pocket that's further away than you want to, but shooting it in the closest pocket to the object ball, which in this case we're talking about the 8, is what we're striving to do. So I am committing to this top left hand corner for this 8 ball. With that, what's the key ball, or what ball do you want to save for the last shot before the 8 ball and to get on the 8 ball? And in my last video I talked about how it's usually the closest ball to the 8, but not always the case. And in this case, the 1 ball would be the closest ball to the 8. But I want to use that 1 ball as a transition ball, and I'll explain that in a minute. So in this particular case, I'm using the 7 ball to get on the 8. So what do I mean by transition? And as I also explained in the last video, you should see the table in regions, for lack of a better term. There should be downtown, which would be this, and uptown, which would be this. So these balls are downtown and these balls are uptown. Let's take downtown first. But what I want to do is work my way from downtown, get all those balls out of my hair, and work my way uptown to the region where that 8 ball is, because I know I'll be able to easily use one of these balls to get on that 8 ball. And in this case, I'm using the 7. Now, you can't always do this, but it's what you should strive to do, because the last thing you want to do in 8 ball and 9 ball is to keep moving balls back and forth, down table, up table, all over the damn table, going to 3 rounds and doing all kinds of crazy shit, because the more you move that cue ball, the more errors you're going to make. You want to move the cue ball as little as humanly possible to keep this game as simple as possible. So I'm using the 1 to transition from downtown to uptown. Does that make any sense? I need that ball to get back up table. So now we come to the point to where you're trying to find the big problem balls with this table. And the most glaring problem I see on this table is this 6 ball. And the reason it's such a problem is because of how close that striped ball is to it, and both that striped ball and this one are blocking a shot in the side. Normally, I would love to use a ball in the center of the table as the transition ball, but in this case, we're not going to be able to do it because we're limited on pockets, and I absolutely have to get perfect on that 6 ball some way, somehow. So the best way I can see to do it is right from the start. But I'm not shooting it first. I'm shooting that 2 ball first to try to get perfect on that 6 ball to shoot it in this side. And from there, we can take care of the rest of downtown. So you want to take care of any problems as fast as possible, as soon as possible. You want to get those balls out of your way. And the reason is because let's look at the 6 ball and let's shoot this 2 ball to try to get on that 6 in a perfect position to get rid of that ball. And the whole reason you want to do this is because if you screw this up, you still have plenty of options to run this table. Let's look at the 2 ball shot line and to get to the 6, and you can see that this is really pinpoint. This is really cutting it close. So there's a good chance you might screw this up. But it's okay. I mean, we still have plenty of options if we screw this up. So let's go back to the table and shoot this ball, and then we'll cut away to another graphic at that point. Awesome. All the hard stuff is over. Now it's just, well, this 6 ball is a little harder than it looks like. I have to really jack up to get over that striped ball, whatever that striped ball is. And you can see I'm not exactly straight in on the 6, so this cue ball's, it's going to stun a little bit up table, not much. Maybe not even a half of a foot. But it's okay. We're still taking care of the downtown region, and I'm going to shoot the 5 first and the 3 second. But before I get to the 5 and the 3, we're going to go ahead and shoot the 6 ball, and then cut back to another graphic after that. It's pretty obvious that we're shooting the 5 in that corner pocket, so let's go ahead and look at the line. And the question is, what are we doing on the 3? And we're using the 3 to get back uptown to use that transition ball, which was the 1 ball, if you remember. And when we're trying to get from the 3 to center table. So let's look at the 3 ball line, and we're trying to come up under that line so we can stun it out to center table to have the right angle on the 1 to get to the 4. So we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, and the big question is why didn't I use that 3 to get on that 7 ball and use the 7 as the transition ball? And the answer is because all this traffic right here. And the other reason is it would have been really difficult to get from the 7 to the 4 or to the 1 ball. It's just you're making the game way more difficult than it has to be. Often there's easier ways to do things, and you have to train your brain to find those easy ways. But we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, so just know the plan is to come off the 3 and get the center table, and we'll cut back to the pool table. Great, that's the angle I was looking for on the 1 to get to the 4, and I'll show you what I'm trying to do in a second. Let's look at the line on the 1 ball and the 4 ball and cut away here. If you don't know why I add these lines, it'll make sense to you in a second. I want to come down up under that straight ball and get on that 4 ball, but I need to stay on the right hand side of that line, and this is kind of pinpoint too. The 8 ball is a little bit more pinpoint than 9 ball. So here's another shot, and you're going to see another one when I shoot the 7 that's incredibly pinpoint, but we'll get to that in a minute. And the reason I need to stay on the right hand side of this 4 ball is so I can use that bottom route to get right on that 7 ball. And I'm trying to get straight in on the 7. It's okay if I go a little bit to the left hand side, but if I go too far to the left hand side, I'm going to be in trouble. I don't want to come up on the right hand side. So that's kind of pinpoint too, from the 4 to the 7. And I'm going to cut away before I shoot the 7, so let's go ahead and watch the 1 and the 4 ball shots. I went way too far left of the 7 ball line, and now I'm out of line. I do have some options here, and I'm trying to figure out which one is the best one. And oftentimes when you don't know what to do, look at center table, and more times than not, that's the answer. More times than not, it's easy to get to, and it will allow you a shot. It might not be the best shot in the world, but you're still in the game, so keep that in mind. To get the center table, I would have to do this. And yeah, see, I don't like it. Another option is to just stun this ball out a little bit and try to get up under that 8 and forget about shooting it in that corner, and we can shoot it in that corner. There's a fine line between brave and stupid. And if you ask me, what I do here is really kind of stupid. And I'm really splitting hairs. And you talk about precision. This is about as precise as you're ever going to get in the game of pool. But I'm going between this 8 ball and this striped ball to come up and try to get absolutely perfectly straight in on this 8 ball. That's insane. I would not recommend doing that, but I'm testing myself, and take it for what it's worth. Thank you guys for coming by. We're going to do the loop back and play the whole game from start to finish without all this interruption, without the graphics, without, analyzing anything. So yeah, save the best for last, and I'm not sure it's the best, but it's, it is what it is. I hope everybody has a great weekend. I try to be nice to people. Everybody's struggling. There's so many assholes out there ruining people's days. I don't think it's necessary. We're all in the same boat. Peace.